prisoner of the deep. The surface of Lake Näkki was a sheet of glass the June morning in 1907 when 14-year-old Antero went out to fish for the last time. He had learned the lake by heart, where his father Emily set the nets and traps. But today Emily stayed home by the bed of Antero's feverish mother, Maria. The boy knew the truth even if no one said it: the doctor would not arrive in time. He rowed toward the deep channel and dropped the net. His thoughts kept circling back to the dim cottage room, to his mother's labored breath. When he looked up, his gaze drifted to the islet called Silankari. His father had warned him never to land there. Stories spoke of a being that lured people into the depths. Water had its own laws. And then a voice rose from the mirror-still lake. He started, peered over the gunwale. Beside his reflection a second face shimmered, an older man with trimmed mustache and neat dark hair. "I know your mother is ill. Row to the islet, and I will give you a remedy." Silankari was a scrap of rock crowned by a single, nearly dead pine. As he pulled the boat ashore the birds fell silent, even the fish stopped breaking the surface. "Hello," he called. "Who spoke to me?" A man stepped from behind the blackened pine, the very face from the water. Tall, well-dressed, smiling without his eyes. "Antero," he said, bowing lightly. "I've been waiting. My name is Vano. The water tells me many things, like how your mother needs help. Can you help her? Are you a doctor?" "Of a sort," the man said. "I'm a healer. I know herbs and cures better than anyone on these waters. But my help requires an exchange." "What do you want?" "Your service. I'm old. I need an assistant to gather herbs and travel the lake." "For how long?" 7 years, the man said, eyes glinting like sun on ripples. "No more. And your mother will live to old age, I promise." Antero thought of his mother's damp skin, his father's gray face. "All right. 7 years, if you heal her." They shook hands. And everything changed. The man's skin shimmered like storm-tossed water. His smile stretched too wide, his eyes became fish eyes, glassy, depthless. His cold, wet hand clung to Antero's like kelp. "What are you?" the boy gasped. "I have many names," the being answered, voice now echoing as if from underwater. "Näkki. Knock. Nix. Vodnik. Vadianoi. A water spirit, a lake-dwelling shapeshifter who bargains and binds. I am both the spirit of the water and its prisoner." It dragged him into the lake. Antero held his breath until his lungs burned, yet the drowning never came. He was breathing, but differently. Green scales spread along his legs, webbing grew between his fingers. "Welcome to my family," the näkki laughed. "You'll help me 7 years, or perhaps 100. Time moves slowly below." On shore, they searched for a month. They found the boat, not the boy. Maria worsened and was buried by the church a week later. From the depths Antero heard the weeping, and the näkki snorted, "Promises are only words. No one's forgiveness ever healed anyone. Your sacrifice was useless to you. Useful to me." Emily refused to give up. On the first Sunday of every month he sat by the lake and waited. Sometimes, he said, he saw Antero swimming far out. People shook their heads, grief had taken his reason. By the turn of the century Emily died of pneumonia, and the torp fell silent. Below, Antero served and learned, to trail boats, to whisper to waves, to lure the unwary, to speak the water's speech and the language of fish. Scales covered his body, his eyes grew cold and unblinking, like the näkki's. Rage and sorrow twisted inside him, but he had given his word and could not break it. 7 years stretched into 70. On moonless nights he rose to watch the distant shore lights and remember his mother and father. From the oldest pike came a secret: there is a way to turn the bargain. The same blood that bound you can set you free. If another, of your blood, comes to the water willingly to take your place, you are released. That would doom an innocent, Antero said. The choice is yours, said the pike. The näkki has had many helpers, tricked as you were. You are only the longest serving. Years rolled on. the torp became a summer cottage. One day in 1976, Antero surfaced by Silankari and saw a girl of about 12 fishing alone. Her face echoed his own, the blood tugged like a current. "Maria," he whispered, not knowing her true name but feeling the kinship. Using the borrowed voice the näkki had taught him, he called, "Come to me, and I'll tell you everything." The lake watched. He felt the näkki's attention rising from the black below. The girl stepped, water lapped her ankles. He reached with his webbed hand, then saw her tear-bright eyes, full of trust. "Run," he cried in his own voice. "The näkki always lies. Run and don't look back." She glimpsed his true, scaled face, screamed, and fled toward the islet's center. The lake heaved. The näkki rose beside him, an older, stronger version of what Antero had become. "Traitor," it hissed. "You tried to steal what is mine." "No one belongs to you," Antero said. The näkki wrapped him and pulled him down, deeper than ever, toward the black, endless bottom. "As your mother never healed," it whispered in his ear, "you will never be free." Near midnight, the girl's parents found her on a forest road, sobbing. "Father was in the lake," she wept. "At least I thought it was father. But it wasn't. It was something else." In the morning, the police searched Silankari. They found a fishing rod and an empty basket. An old constable who knew the näkki Jarvi tales said he'd seen a face in the water, both terrible and sad. He wrote nothing of it in his report. He only murmured a single word to himself, "näkki." A century after Antero vanished, a diver claimed he found the ribs of an old boat and a skeleton that wasn't quite human near Silankari. A week later, the mud gave up nothing. Still, every angler warns children not to go too near the islet. Few believe the old stories, yet everyone knows something waits below. And sometimes, on starless nights, you can see two figures on the surface, one older, one young, dancing on the water. Forever together. Forever bound. Prisoners of the deep.